physical, good football team. Coach Mo and his boys are going to have a good season. I'm ready for next week.
Coach, 9/11, running out with the flag, running out with the Nebraska flag. What emotions? The fans going crazy. What did that mean to you today?
Yeah, I remember the day. I remember how I felt that day. I can't imagine how the people that were more affected felt. It was tough after that. It was unbelievable, though, to see how the country came together right after that. Wish it could be more like that again.
Scott, the game kind of changed. It seems like on Adrian's 71-yard touchdown run, or 71-yard run. Can you describe your vantage point on that play? He was in trouble for a long time.
Yeah, I thought Adrian played another great game. He's a big-time player. He's missing some weapons right now. We had a lot of guys at that point that weren't in the game. We should have scored more offensively in the first half than we did and didn't, and then got bailed out by a couple big plays that Adrian and Samori made in the first half. Need to do, first I got to say defense, Coach Shenander and Fish and Dawson and Rude and that whole group. What a great performance by them. They gave up a little here and there, but, man, they just didn't quit the whole game against a good football team. Offensively, I mean, we got to establish our base run a little better so we can keep drives going and give ourselves more chances. They were packing the box on us a little bit, but we still need to be able to hit it downhill and get some yards, and didn't do that well enough in the first half, but a couple of plays by a couple really good players kind of bailed us out.
Can you describe that play in particular?
Not until I watch it on tape. Be honest, I was watching the route develop off, and good things happen when he takes off.
Did you change in your mind as a play caller what you set out to do, especially without the two receivers going in and then losing Betts and Allen?
No, we need to be able to take more shots downfield. When we did take them today, we hit them. So we got to do more of that, and that's going to help back people off. But we also need to be able to run it better to help open those things up. So it's hard to complain about a game against a good team where you win by 3 scores and have 500 yards of offense or whatever we had, but it didn't feel like that, and I wasn't satisfied. So we got work to do.
The effort of the defense and the heat and the way they ran around, especially on those fourth downs, those are leverage plays and they made them all.
Zach and Andrew and the boys did a great job getting our guys ready in the summer. They did a lot of work out on the turf in the heat in the stadium. I thought that paid off today. We had some cramping issues, but not many. Those guys were out there a lot, and we need to help them out a little more on offense by sustaining, but, they didn't quit. That's a biggest compliment I can give them. I think we have a tough defense.
I want to ask you specifically about Reimer. He had 16 tackles, the pick, and then that fourth down stop by your sideline. Is that stuff what's the ceiling for him?
That's the stuff we've seen from Luke from his first day here. Kid from Northwest 12th Street in Lincoln that lived 8 houses from my parents. We were lucky enough to get him to walk on, and it was about the second day we figured we should have scholarshiped him, and he's going to make a lot of plays around here.
We didn't see any of the Marquise stuff in the second half. What was the reasoning behind that?
I don't have much to do with that. We kind of talked before the series about what plays we want to get to, and Harold has those guys on a rotation, and I expect you'll see more of him.
Scott, you've said a couple times about your trust level in Connor Culp. Is there a concern level at some point, or I guess where are you at this point?
Yeah, listen, I'm scratching my head a little bit because two of our best players on our entire football team are Connor Culp and Cam Taylor-Britt, and Cam made a ton of good plays on defense, and he's a captain. I love him like a son, but punt return bit us again. We gotta scream and yell and get everybody away from that one. And not sure what's going on with Connor, but he'll get it fixed. I don't want it to turn into a mental thing for him. He's too talented.
Is there a couple moments where you decided to punt, and you could have gone for it? Is that a sign of trust in your defense that if you get it back, they're going to get it back to you in good field position?
Well, we were doing a little better job of pinning them on punt than we had. We actually got a couple down there. The defense was in control, definitely had something to do with it. The score of the game definitely had something to do with it.
Sorry.
You're fine.
Is that on that punt return? Is that a communication thing with Cam and the coverage guys, or should they be away from him in that?
No, well, we got to be screaming Peter, 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 and get everybody away from the punt return. And we got to train them even better than we have trained them.
Stan, you have now 6 quarters now without giving up a touchdown. How difficult is it to do in this day and age of college football?
It's going to be a lot harder next week.
Had you been waiting for a chance to defer on the opening win toss and put your defense out there first?
Yeah, and it almost worked out for us. We scored right at the end of half and got the ball back in the third quarter and had a drive going and sputtered. But if you can score at the end of the first and steal a drive and score at the beginning of the third, you got a good chance of winning the game. And we almost made it happen today.
How much better do you have to get to play the way you want to win and win next week?
It's little things. And I think we got a good enough team that we could win about any game we play, and we could lose about any game we play. And it's going to come down to a few plays. I got to figure out how to have our players stop getting called for penalties on scoring plays and explosive plays. I've never seen anything like it, so we'll review those and find out what's going on.
On this Mothers play, what do they tell you on that, on the play where they waved off the touchdown?
They told me it was a forward pass downfield.
Scott, depending on scenarios and where your team's at, I know you handle end-of-game situations differently. Describe your thinking in the last 2 minutes today and, trying to score essentially.
We were ready to, be honest, we were ready to run it out until they used the timeout, and then I was going to keep the throttle down. But when you get new guys out there, you want to give them a chance to run the offense and make plays too. And thought Logan made another good throw. That's good to see. Chris made another play, and we didn't put any more points up, so no harm, no foul.
Coach, you got to meet Corporal Page's family before the game and give them a jersey. What did that mean to you?
I tell you, that puts everything in perspective. Everything I'm doing, everything everybody's doing. Deegan was over there and didn't come back, and that's a lot more important than a first down, a third down, a score of a game, or a ball game in general. And what a great family. His little sister Emerson was so sweet, and mom and dad, and that was touching, and it puts in perspective how important that is compared to what we're doing.